Yo everybody, Shockz16 back once again for the Renegade Master, and something else that is also back, once again, is the Friday Foursome by Novabug. That's right, it has returned. So yeah, his returning question is, your 4 most anticipated consoles. So yeah, I thought I'd jump on board and get a quick response up to it, hence why hence the shaky cam. Ooh. I'm not filming a Michael Bay action scene. This is just being filmed on my phone. So yeah, sorry about the shaky cam. But yeah, I thought I'd do a response. So here we go. So in 4th place or 1st place, whichever way around you want to do this, my first most anticipated or last, whatever, is going to be a console that I never actually bought in the end, but it was highly anticipated by me, and that was the Nintendo 64. So yeah, I grew up as a SNES kid. You can probably see some SNES in the background there, actually. Game Boy, SNES up top, look. But yeah, I was a Nintendo kid in the playground. You know, when you used to have your little wars, Sega versus Nintendo, it was all about Nintendo for me because I was a SNES kid. Do you know what I mean? You never admitted it. Do you know what I mean? You probably liked the other console, like I did, the Mega Drive. And if you had the Mega Drive, you probably liked the SNES. But you never admitted that, did you, in your playground? So yeah, I was very much a Nintendo kid. So from the Super Nintendo, of course, what I wanted was the Nintendo 64. Or did I? Because what I actually wanted was the Ultra 64. That's right, which was the original name. But no, wait, actually, it was called Project something, weren't it? When it was in development. And then it was going to be launched as the Ultra 64. But yeah, the Ultra 64 got delayed. And the Ultra 64, one of the reasons why I wanted it was, if you don't believe me, just play the Killer Instincts arcade game and you will clearly see or hear that it says this.
Available for your home in 1995, only on Nintendo Ultra 64. Instinct.
See, that's right. In 1995, we was meant to be getting the Ultra 64 with Killer Instinct on launch, like an arcade perfect, or as close as to arcade perfect as it would have been at the time. I know we got KI Gold further on down the line, which was basically just a port of Killer Instinct 2. But what I wanted was the Ultra 64 with Killer Instinct on launch. That would have done me. That's what I wanted, but of course it got delayed, the name got changed, and yeah, I couldn't be arsed waiting for it, so any chances, like any last chance it had, was demolished by my next pick, which was the Sega Saturn. So yeah, in at number 2 is the Sega Saturn, which, like I said, killed off any remaining chance of me buying the N64 in the end, because it got delayed and the Sega Saturn was like going to get released. I mean, we got the Sega Saturn. It was in '95, and we didn't get the N64 till like '97 in the UK, I don't think. So yeah, it really pissed me off in the end. So yeah, I just didn't buy the N64. So yeah, anyway, moving on now to the Sega Saturn, which was probably no surprise to you, but yeah, that's one of the most anticipated consoles for me because I saw this in a magazine when they was like developing it and on about it was coming out, and I was like, oh, it looks like I'm going to have to jump ship to Sega then, because this was like the next big thing, 32-bit console. Hell yeah, boys. So yeah, I was really, really pumped about getting the system, and the first system I actually saw was the grey Japanese system when that was launched. I think I saw it in a magazine, and I weren't too keen on the grey system at the time anyway. I mean, nowadays, I think that the grey system is probably a little bit sexier than the black system we got, but yeah. So when we actually got it in the UK and it was actually a black console, I was like, no shit, man, they actually did launch it in black, which was the colour that I wanted at the time, so even better. But yeah, like I say, I knew it was coming out, I wanted it, it was the next bit, and I begged my parents for it and begged them and begged them and begged it. They held out on me for a little bit, but they eventually did come through and get it for me. I don't need to tell you the rest of the story, I've told it a million times, but yeah, what really made me want it even more is that my good friend at the time, or probably my best friend at the time actually, his older brother had a job, you see. I mean, we were still on pocket money. He had a job, so he had like a nice income. So he got one on launch. So yeah, I can just remember being around his house and playing on that. And then I think it was Electronics Boutique in Nottinghamshire, they had like the demo systems before it was officially launched as well that you could play on, and I was playing like Sega Rally and stuff like that, so I knew that was going to be a launch game and everything like that. And yeah, that system just blew me away, hence why Saturn goodness. Do you know what I mean? Oh, change hands a minute. Oh, screen. Oh. So yeah, that's why that played a big factor in this. But yeah, so the Sega Saturn would be on there as the most anticipated system. Now the next one is going to be the PlayStation 3. So yeah, the PlayStation 3, like I said, I had the PlayStation 1, I had the PlayStation 2, so natural progression was to go to the PlayStation 3. So when I heard that was coming out, yeah boy, do you know what I mean? I'm getting that on release as soon as it comes out, blah de blah de blah. Do you know what I mean? And I was really pumped and excited about getting that. But as you know, the UK release date on that got pushed back to, was it like 2007 before we got the PlayStation 3 here? So that got pushed back a bit. So I needed something to tie me over for a little bit. And I was, just by chance, I was on eBay one day and I was looking at Xbox 360 consoles. And there was one listed which was at a stupidly low buy it now price. Like, and when I say stupid, I mean like it was, like it didn't seem like it was a real auction, like a real thing, like it was going to be a scam or something. That's what I thought it was going to be. It was going to be a scam. But impulsively, I just bought it. I just clicked buy now, and I just thought like I think it took about 3 days to come, and for those 3 days I was just thinking I've been scammed. They're not going to send it. Do you know what I mean? Or they're going to realise that they've listed it wrong or something like that. It's just not going to come. But it did come. Like I say, about 3 days later, it actually did turn up. So I had this 360, which was meant to be tying me over till the PlayStation 3 was launched. And yeah, it kind of took over. And I kind of forgot about the PlayStation 3 in the end. And I didn't get a PlayStation 3 until the Slim version was out. So that's how long I actually did wait in the end to get a PlayStation 3. So yeah, it was a highly anticipated console, but in the meantime, I had this 360, and then when I got the PlayStation 3, I was kind of, it didn't live up, because everything on paper about the oh, my arm's gone dead again. So yeah, everything on paper about the PlayStation 3 says it's a better console than the 360 is. Do you know what I mean? It's better built, it's got better stats and stuff like that. So it should be better. And it had Metal Gear Solid, do you know what I mean, 4 on it as a release, as a launch title. Like, so I was like, oh, it should be fucking fantastic. And then when it came out, it just pissed me off. The console pissed me off. And I still have like a little bit of, I'm not going to say I hate the PS3, but it just doesn't live up. I don't get on with it. So yeah, it kind of let me down in the end. But it was a highly anticipated console, which just ended up letting me down in the end. And I think a lot of the excitement was killed in the end as well, because the 360 did everything that I wanted in between there. And then when it came out, the PlayStation 3 was kind of overshadowed by the 360. So yeah, there you go. And then the last console is the only console that I've ever bought on release, I think. Yeah, it is, because I normally get them a little bit later after. But yeah, the only console that I've ever had on release is the Xbox One. And yeah, like I say, the PlayStation 3 kind of let me down on the generation before, whereas the 360 was an awesome console, easily a top 5 console of mine. I love the 360, don't matter what anybody says about it. So yeah, it made, oh, fucking hell, how do people do this? Just film like freehand all the time. God, these vloggers must have strong arms. So, yeah, what was I saying? So, yeah, the Microsoft kind of picked up where Sony left off. So, it made made sense that I was going to progress to the Xbox One over the PS4. Not to mention that the Xbox One had better games on launch. For me personally, stuff like Dead Rising and the Forza series overshadowed like Killzone and stuff like that. It didn't really do it for me. So the ideal always was going to be Xbox One on launch, PS4 further on down the line when it's got a bigger library, which is exactly what happened. So yeah, I do have a PlayStation 4 now, and I do like the PlayStation 4 as well. So, but the Xbox One launch title, launch title, launch console, got it on launch, whatever I'm trying to say. Yeah, pre-ordered it on Amazon with all like the release games, I think. Yeah, nearly all the release games, and yeah, the Xbox One, yeah, had that kind of shaky start, didn't it, due to Microsoft's shitty press conference, you know, all that shit with the DRM and stuff at E3 and everything like that. But for me, it was always a console that I wanted, and yeah, it was highly anticipated, and I got it, and I do like the Xbox. Actually, the Xbox One has grown on me. It was one of those consoles where I liked it when I first got it, and then it kind of bugged me a little bit, and I went off it. Do you know what I mean? It kind of weren't doing it for me for a little bit, and then a few more games came out for it. Like, it picked up its library a bit again. So I'm loving it at the moment again. So that's all good, isn't it? So there you go. There was my 4 most anticipated consoles anyway. What are yours? Let Novabug know by doing a response to his Friday Foursome. I've been Shockz16. I'll see you in the next video, innit, mate? In a bit, like. Woo! Michael Bay, Michael Bay, Michael Bay, Michael Bay, Michael Bay.